Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Romeo. Romeo is an Italian name derived from a late Latin religious name Romaeus meaning pilgrim to Rome, pilgrim to the Holy Roman Catholic Church based in Rome. However, the name is most associated with William Shakespeare's hero in his 1596 play about two star-crossed, ill-fated lovers, Romeo and Juliet. The bard's primary source for the play was a poem by Englishman Arthur Brooke, The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet, said to be a translation of a story by the 16th-century Italian writer Matteo Bandello. Shakespeare's Twelfth Night is also based off of one of Bandello's works. Ultimately, it is believed to have come from the Roman mythological legend of Pyramus and Thisbe in Ovid's Metamorphoses, also about two lovers from rivaling families. Romeo is therefore a name loaded with sentimental romance and devoted, forbidden love. The name has been occasionally used but mostly considered an exotic choice among English-speaking nations, although it has been experiencing a bit of a revival in the 21st century. Personality of the boy named Romeo. The three energy is powerful and enthusiastic. These personalities are cheerful, full of self-expression, and often quite emotional. They have an artistic flair and gift of gab that makes them natural entertainers. Their joyfulness bubbles over, and their infectious exuberance draws a crowd. The three personality is like a child, forever young and full of delight. They are charming, witty, and generally happy people. The three personality lives in the now and has a spontaneous nature. Three seem to live with a bright and seemingly unbreakable aura that attracts others to them. In turn, they are deeply loyal and loving to their friends and family. Luck also has a tendency to favor number threes. Popularity of the boy named Romeo. Romeo has had an interesting journey in terms of usage in the United States. It has appeared on the male naming charts since the late 19th century, but would appear and disappear like a fickle boyfriend. Essentially, the name had zero to low moderate usage for over 100 years. The latter half of the 20th century could best be summed up with this question: "O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" The name was basically hiding in the shadows, barely visible. Enter 1997, the year Romeo saw its single biggest jump up the charts, 338 positions in 1 year. No coincidence, the sudden love affair with Romeo was stimulated by the release of Romeo and Juliet in November 1996, an MTV-inspired modernized version of Shakespeare's play starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Cementing Romeo's newfound fame came in 2002 when Bear celebrity couple David and Victoria Beckham named their second son Romeo James, and then in 2004, Jon Bon Jovi's son received this dramatic moniker. We don't need to ask wherefore art thou Romeo anymore. What was once exotic, perhaps even eccentric, is now embraced as an original choice. And we couldn't be more pleased. Quick facts on Romeo. Gender, boy. Origin, Italian. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, 339. Pronunciation, Romeo, Romeo. Simple meaning, pilgrim to Rome. Characteristics of Romeo. Popular, creative, optimistic, happy, dramatic, communicative, social. Cultural references to the baby name Romeo. Literary characters of the baby name Romeo. Romeo is perhaps one of the most recognized literary figures of all time. He is one of the two central figures in William Shakespeare's 1596 tragedy, Romeo and Juliet. The story can best be summed up by the play's final two lines: "For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo." Romeo Montague is the teenaged son of an affluent family involved in a bitter rivalry with the Capulets, Juliet's peeps. Unfortunately for Romeo, when he lays eyes upon the fair Juliet, there's simply no turning back. The guy is seriously whipped and forgets about his crush on Rosalind in a Verona minute. He's the typical teenager, emotional, impetuous, lovesick, and overly dramatic. Romeo evens the score for his buddy Mercutio's death by killing Tybalt and is thus banished from Verona, and Juliet's domineering parents arrange to have her married to Paris, not knowing she's already eloped with Romeo. This is a recipe for disaster. Enter the benevolent Friar Lawrence, who attempts to help the young lovers back together again, a well-intentioned plan with tragic consequences. But then again, their fates were already written in the stars. Juliet Capulet is half of the ill-fated couple in Shakespeare's tragedy, Romeo and Juliet, probably written between 1591 and 1595. At the play's beginning, Juliet is a young, rather docile girl, not quite 14, obedient and ready to consider her parents' choice for a suitor, yet demonstrating just a touch of reserved rebellion under the surface. After she meets and falls in love with Romeo, her every action seems to augur the woman she would have become if fate had treated her differently. Once equipped with the moral backbone that her love for Romeo gives her, there is no stopping this firebrand. She manages to defy the strictures of the generations-old feud between the Capulets and the Montagues, to declare her love for Romeo, to marry him and consummate the vows, and, ultimately, to make the noblest sacrifice of all for him, her death. And no pretty poisoning death for her, she impales herself upon a dagger. All of this over the course of a few days. It is not that we would wish such a fate upon any fair maidens of 13 of our acquaintance, but, really, could anyone you know fill the bill? Popular songs on Romeo. A song by Snuff, Romeo and Rebecca, Romeo and Juliet, Romeo had Juliet, a song by Rick Astley, This Romeo Ain't Got Juliet, a song by Blink-182, a song by Bryan Adams, a song by The Reflections, a song by Diamond Rio, Not Romeo, Not Juliet, Just Like Romeo and Juliet, Romeo and Juliet, a song by Blue System, Romeo Loves Juliet, a song by Lou Reed. Famous people named Romeo. Roma copyright Dallaire, French-Canadian senator, author and humanitarian, Romeo James Beckham, son of celebrity couple David and Victoria Beckham, Romeo Crennel, football coach, Lil Romeo, actor/rapper, Romeo Roselli, wrestler. Children of famous people named Romeo. Victoria Beckham, David Beckham,